Desiree here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about triggers. And just to clarify, triggers can happen for any reason and for anything. So we can be triggered about an emotion, or we can be triggered about a piece of cake, or we can be triggered about substances, whatever. So one of the most important pieces of recovering from an addiction is to identify what your triggers are. Where are you most tempted to use? When are you most tempted to use? So we have to think about our routines and our habits and the people that we're around and the places that we go, and what is it that tempts us the most? Is it a certain smell? What are the triggers that are subtle? What are not so subtle? Is it a smell? Is it the sight? Is it other people offering it to you? Is it a place that you've used before, and so every time you go in there, it triggers you to want to use? So there's 4 main categories of trigger situations. And so the first one is going to be social or positive use. Obviously, this is where a lot of people get tripped up. When you go to a party and other people are using or drinking and having fun, or when you are celebrating something, a birthday, a holiday, going to a football game or watching the game or whatever. Social or positive use is a big trigger for a lot of people. And then the next one is physical pain. So when you're in physical pain, I know for me, when my back is hurting me or I have some sort of physical pain, the first thing I want to do is reach for a pill to get rid of it. I don't want to experience that discomfort, and nobody does. We're hedonistic, we're pleasure seeking, and when we experience some sort of discomfort or unease, we want to just back off from it and not experience it or deal with it. Then with the physical pain, that could also include dreams of using. And then the next one is negative emotional states. So when you're angry, when you're upset, you're sad, depressed, lonely, whatever, that causes a lot of people to want to use. And then the last one is withdrawals. When you're having cravings or urges, you're going through withdrawals, that can be a very, very tempting time for people. So it's going to be very important for you to understand where and when you're tempted to use the most, and under which category does that fall, so that you can plan for those situations and have an out, or at least some sort of idea of what you're going to do in those situations when they do come up. And we can't plan for everything, but we can plan for emotions. So what am I going to do if I feel stressed out? What am I going to do if I feel angry? What am I going to do if I feel sad? Or what if I'm really happy and it's a sunny day outside and I've just got off from a long day of work and I see a cold beer? What do I do in that situation to where I don't use? How do I not eat the piece of chocolate cake when I see it sitting in the kitchen? What do I do in these situations? And it's going to be really important in your recovery process to come up with a really solid plan for each of those situations, and just kind of have a list of choices that you could make in those situations. Because if we don't plan for it, then when it does come up, we start to panic, and that's where people relapse.